Airline passenger demands I move my luggage. Just boarded a flight and put my roller bag in the overhead bin in my assigned section. Before I could sit down, Ms. Entitled pointed to my bag and said, "You can put that under your seat. My bag is big and it needs to go there. Take yours down." I just looked at her and said, "No, I paid for Comfort Plus and this bin is labeled Comfort Plus and it's first come, first served." She asked again for me to put it under my seat. It doesn't quite fit, so I said no again. Then she started asking people to move their stuff, and some man finally removed a bag from the bin. She was very loud about thanking him for doing the right thing. She had no right to insist that I move for her. It ticked me off, but that faded as I remembered the "We Do Not Care" club and settled in to enjoy my trip. My mom thinks she deserves to move in after her boyfriend broke up with her. My mom, 41 female, wants to move back in with me and my siblings. I'll try to keep it short, but basically, she and my stepdad got divorced in November of 2020 because he caught her texting another guy. It was messy, and he ended up leaving that same night. We didn't hear from him for a few months, which I don't blame him for, since he was going through a lot, betrayal, and needed to process some things. He's still very much supportive and takes care of us kids. I say stepdad just for the story, but I do see him as my true dad. My biological dad wasn't in the picture much at all, and my stepdad took me in as his own when I was a baby, so he is my dad. This is relevant because I feel some people might think I don't have a close relationship with him, but I do. He's the best, and I love him. He treats me like his own. After that, she left and moved in with said guy and left us 4 siblings at home without any parental supervision, and it has been like that since. She was really horrible to us kids after she moved in with the guy and treated us like we were a burden, sometimes acting like we didn't exist while she played mommy to his younger kids. Me and my older sibling had to step up and take care of us all. Me, up until I was legal age, but I helped. When she left, all she said was, "There's more than enough of you to rely on each other, and you'll get it when you're older and have children of your own." Personally, I wouldn't abandon my kids for an abusive guy, but maybe that's just me. Sarcasm. She would come back sometimes, but it was only for a day or two to come and get clothes or if they got into a fight, and then leave back to him, who lives 3 to 4 hours away. We got into a huge argument a few months ago when she and the guy broke up and he kicked her out for the billionth time, and she tried to guilt us, saying kids need their moms and all that. I told her something along the lines of, "When did you care about this 5 years ago when you left us claiming we'd understand when we were older? We're older now, and we still don't understand how a woman can do that to her kids." After that, she got mad, and that's where the argument started. She said some not so nice things about me and my siblings that I won't repeat here, but just know it was things a mother should never say to her kids. It ended with her going and staying at our grandparents' house and texting my older sibling and me guilt trips and playing victim until my grandparents told us to block her. But spoiler alert, she went right back to him a few days later. After this, my older sibling took her to court for custody of our younger siblings and the house and told her if she didn't hand over the kids or the house in their name peacefully, they'd out her in court and tell them what she'd been doing. Blackmail isn't right, I know, but it worked. My mom gave the house and the kids to my older sibling and claimed to be an unfit parent. That was it. Now, she and the guy broke up and are apparently done for good as he's thrown out all of her things. She got a new number and called my older sibling, asking if she could have her room back in the house and saying she would never leave us again. We've already turned her room into the youngest's, and she likes her space. Obviously, we told her no. This is when she started playing the victim card and tried turning it around on us, saying that we are mean and she's done everything for us kids and that our dad turned us against her. We told her our dad doesn't even talk about her anymore unless we bring her up. And then she started getting mad, saying we are ungrateful brats again, and that we should be thanking her for even giving us the house and not throwing us out like she wanted. She then proceeded to demand that we let her move in, and that she wasn't taking no for an answer, that she raised us and that she's still the mom and has final say. We threatened her and told her if she even tried anything, we would get the police involved. But so far, that hasn't stopped her. She's going to try and move in sometime tomorrow because all she said was, "We'll talk in person about this. See you soon. Love you." And honestly, I don't even know what to do if she does. I really hope she doesn't go through with it so we don't have to get the police involved. But so far, that looks like where it's going. Today, we changed the locks, thanks to some advice. Edit. Good morning. I honestly really didn't think this would get that much attention. I just posted and went to sleep. I just brought the kids to school and am at work till noon. My older sibling is at home waiting to see if she shows up this morning at all. We decided to take shifts, them for the morning and me for the afternoon, so the house isn't left alone. We also contacted our uncle and aunt on my dad's side for support, just in case. Thank you so much for the nice and supportive words and the advice. I'll make sure to read everything once I can. Have a good day. Parked in front of someone's house. I'm visiting a friend in Florida and parked temporarily on the street in front of someone's home as I waited for my friend to come out. I chose a shaded part of the street because there was a large tree to cool off my car from the 90-degree heat. After 3 minutes, a woman came out from the home, and I assumed she was going to tell me not to park on the public street in front of her home. She tapped on the passenger window, and I turned the car back on to roll the window down. Before she said anything, I said, "Thanks for letting me park here while I wait for my friend to come out. You have a beautiful tree, and I wanted to have some shade while I wait." "You know what? You need to turn your car off. You're just sitting here and polluting the air." I guess I predicted her complaint wrong, but after the attitude, well, firstly, I had to turn the car on to roll the window down for you coming over here. Secondly, it's a hybrid car, so there's no emissions even if I were idling. And thirdly, who the heck are you to tell me what to do? Get lost. I rolled the window back up as she started to respond, and she eventually walked back inside. Really? Entitled plane passengers. So I was recently on an 8-hour flight from the US, settled into our seats, and noticed a family with several teen or young adult children, seated with each child having a 2-seat row to themselves. Mom settled them all in and went to her seat in business or premium economy from what I could see. Takeoff and everything was fairly normal. From the moment the seatbelt sign went off, the mom was up and down the aisle from her seat to her children's seats the whole flight, every time banging everyone's elbow and talking so loudly I couldn't even hear what I was watching on Netflix, despite having the volume up fully. The seatbelt sign went back on a couple of times due to turbulence, and she had to be told at least 5 times to just sit down. During meal service, they all loudly complained about the food and basically treated the flight attendant as their own personal waitress. They kept waving her down and being so rude that she announced no more drinks, as she was only one person. It was an overnight flight, and gradually all the kids fell asleep, but that didn't stop Mom continually marching up and down. It was just impossible to sleep. Descent begins, and again, they basically had to force her to take her seat, and the kids all begin throwing their trash in the aisle and packing up. We land, and Mom barges through anyone trying to get off, and then pushes her way back through with her kids in tow. I was so happy to get off that plane and went to go through passport control when I saw them all frantically tearing their bags apart, as apparently the daughter had lost her passport. I might have had a smile to myself as we went straight through while Dad was arguing with a member of staff about the missing passport. Felt bad for the daughter, but after that awful flight, it felt good to see a tiny bit of karma come through. Entitled woman tried to pull a fast one and failed. About 8 years ago, I was working at Lowe's in the flooring department. I was freshly and honorably discharged from the Army about 6 months prior to getting the job at Lowe's. This will become relevant a little later on. Granted, I hadn't worked at the store very long, so I didn't know everything there was to know about flooring, and was by no means an expert. But the one thing I knew for sure was not to let customers take the folders that contained the flooring details, measurements done by contractors for flooring to be installed, for personal use. This was stressed to me during my training by both the computer training modules and my manager. Customers are not to take the detail that was done. This was because we often offered free flooring details and quotes, and if the customer had their free detail measurements in hand, they could simply take the measurements to another business and have them do the installation for a potentially better price. Lowe's didn't want that happening. Enter the absolute unit of an entitled woman and her submissive husband. I'm busy at the flooring desk taking calls and helping customers, and this woman walks up to the desk. She claims she had a detail done recently, and you guessed it, she wants to take her folder home with her. I politely but firmly explained to her that it's against store policy for customers to take their measurements home with them. She starts causing a scene, exclaiming that these were her measurements done on her house, so they belong to her. I tell her that I am happy to get my manager on the phone so they can better explain the policy to her and confirm that I am telling her the right information. She begins berating me, invading my personal space and getting in my face, being absolutely obnoxious as I'm trying to reach my manager on the phone. Why do you need to call a manager? Why do you need to call your manager? You're new here. Are you stupid or something? See, I was used to people screaming in my face in the military. It didn't bother me in the slightest. Where I drew the line was when she called me stupid. I'm not usually one to pull the veteran card, but I wasn't about to let this woman walk all over me. She needed to know I was finally in a position where I didn't have to put up with people screaming in my face and could tell them off. My manager was busy and wasn't answering the phone. I hung up the phone and calmly responded, "Ma'am, I was a sergeant in the Army. I'm not some 18-year-old who you can walk all over. Just so you know, I don't need this job, and I definitely don't need you screaming in my face telling me that I'm stupid. Now, I'm happy to walk up to the front of the store with you so we can speak to a manager and get this resolved. I'm here to help you, so how can I help you?" She huffed and started cussing and making an even bigger scene as she gathered her purse and her husband, and they began walking up to customer service. I grabbed her folder, and the people who were standing in line behind her began apologizing, saying things like, "I'm so sorry you have to deal with that." I just shrugged, thanked them for their patience, and said I would be right back. I took my sweet time walking up to the front. By the time I got up to the customer service desk, I spotted the lady already complaining to the customer service staff. I quickly spotted my manager, who asked me what was going on. Folder in hand, I simply said, "She's trying to take the folder." My manager, a very tall, muscular woman who didn't take anyone's nonsense, said, "Who?" I gestured toward the entitled woman. My manager asked for the folder from me and said, "Okay, thank you. You can go back to flooring now." I happily handed her the folder and began comfortably strolling back to my department. As I was walking away, I heard this woman absolutely losing it. "Blah, blah, blah, I'm calling corporate. Do you know who I am? Blah, blah, blah." I just smiled, cool as a cucumber, knowing I did something right. She didn't get her way, I didn't get walked all over. I didn't lose my job. Never heard another word about it from anyone. Don't tick off a veteran working in the customer service industry. Anyone working in customer service for that matter, we're just trying to help you.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like. It really helps. Subscribe for more and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.